out so I can. Hello, everybody. Here we are again. 1 second, you saw something. Sorry, we had some experience, some technical issues just getting started, but here we are, ready for a live Q&A showcasing Sauvik Das Gupta. I hope I said that correctly. He's our international entrepreneur in the spotlight. First of all, I want to welcome everybody, introduce a little bit about who we are. My name is Maria. I'm co-founder at Here to Start, and our plan and what we always do is to showcase and to promote what we do as international entrepreneurs, originally in the Netherlands, but also all over the place, So if you're interested in starting your business or scaling up your business to the Netherlands, this is the right place to be. So every time on a really ongoing basis, we're hosting events showcasing how is it, how is it to start, how is it to scale from idea to, to execution. We want to be there as your right hand, and also, of course, introduce you to the right people, the entrepreneurs, the key players within the startup ecosystem and the entrepreneurial ecosystem within the Netherlands. Today, I'm really honored to introduce you to one of the persons who has been there since the beginning, since we launched Here to Start back in 2019. So I'm really happy to introduce to Sauvik and also to tell you all about him, his story, and what's happening afterwards. There you are.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Hey, welcome to everything that we're doing today. I'm really excited about taking this half an hour to share everything, basically everything that we can take from you and your story.
Sure.
As you can see,
thanks
we're
for
both
having me.
Yeah, really, as I said, it's an honor. I was just thinking, when we first launched Here to Start, you were there in our launch event in Amsterdam, and
Yes.
you were really helpful as well, sharing your story with our international entrepreneurs. As you can see by our accents, I'm from Colombia. Sauvik is from India.
India.
So we're really international. And
Yes,
we're ready to
indeed.
share the stories with you guys. So let's first start with a little introduction about yourself, and then we go through some questions that we have prepared for your information, and that's why we had some technical issues in the beginning. This event is live for a reason, so we host all of our events live, so you can participate and join with your questions. Please feel free to just include your questions via the chat. I'm going to be hosting and making sure that we reply to all of your questions. And as I always say, there's no stupid question, like no stupid questions at all, especially not about starting your business somewhere else away from home, right? So, Sauvik, a little introduction about yourself, and then we're good to go.
Perfect. Thanks, Maria. Yeah, so originally I'm indeed from Kolkata in India. So I'm currently actually a PhD candidate at the Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam and KU Leuven in Belgium. I'm actually an Erasmus Mundus scholar funded by the European Union. Well, of course, I went to the Netherlands to do research, but I got a brilliant opportunity from a university at the end of my research trajectory that I could valorize my results into a startup, which is actually the Fitzgerald story. So currently, you can say me as an academic entrepreneur. I still identify myself as a researcher, but I like to do a bit of entrepreneurship. So that's what I'm currently doing. Yes.
I like that. It's like you're part of a really specific species, because normally, when you talk to entrepreneurs, they're really business oriented and they talk about the numbers and investors and all this. Well, which is great, of course. But when you're looking at entrepreneurship from the point of view of academic research, or how is that going to have an impact, I'm curious about that. How do you see entrepreneurship as somebody that really has a strong academic background?
Yeah,
how do you normally see it?
Yeah, it's a unique blend, I think. So my first entrepreneurship venture was right after my master's. I did my master's from the US. So that was in India. So that was the first flavor. And now I'm co-doing it. So now it's simultaneous. Along with the PhD, I'm doing it. It's a unique blend. It teaches you many different things, I guess. It probably teaches you to have a more scientific outlook and in-depth reasoning behind the hypothesis that you draw for your business. So I think it's a very it's a unique combination, and I love it because I am basically a researcher. But I'm not sure about others. But it could be a nice experience.
But I guess that when we talk about ideation and business validation, when validating your concept into any market that you're targeting, I think that having such an academic background will be like validation to the next level. Actually,
Yes,
like
yes,
you do a lot of try and error, as an entrepreneur. So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you will be
yeah.
the expert in validation, how to make sure that your startup idea is actually, relevant and is working for your market.
Yes, yes, yeah. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
that's
Yeah,
a way to see
yeah.
it. Actually, I also said, like about here to start, but it's important to mention that we're also members and really active members of the Holland Alumni Network. From this year, it's called NL, Netherlands Alumni Network. Actually,
Yes,
a
yes,
little
yes, yeah.
bit like
I can't hear you, Maria. Think your connection is dropping a bit.
here I am. Can you see it? Hello.
I can see
Yes.
you. I can see you. I
Yes.
can see you. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
So what really is a common denominator for us is that we both landed in the Netherlands as students. I was doing my master's degree, and you were
Yes.
doing also your PhD and all these. And it's really important that we facilitate that transition from the academy to the startup world or the entrepreneurial world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we do as members of the Holland Alumni Network as well,
Mm-hmm.
like to really help people
Yeah.
and hopefully inspire people to consider
Yeah.
entrepreneurship as part of
Yeah.
their international career.
Think I've lost you again, Maria.
So
Yeah.
normally here
Okay.
we are the
Now
weird
you're back.
species.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
showcasing how we do something that is really unique by considering entrepreneurship or being entrepreneurial. So that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
going to cover today. What's your
Absolutely.
story?
Absolutely.
Why entrepreneurship, and why to go to
Yeah.
the extra mile and the extra risk of starting a business when you are not from the country, right? From the
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about challenges. First of all, like
Hmm.
what were the most so far, like the most challenging aspects of starting your business in the Netherlands. As an international entrepreneur from India. How?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Yeah, yeah.
True. Yeah, yeah. So of course there were many challenges. So I would say the first challenge, of course, as an international entrepreneur is you are new to the society, you are new to the culture. Well, of course, I was 3 years in the Netherlands already before I tried to start this because I was doing my research for 3 years. But still, I didn't really have an idea of how the society accepts a business proposition, and that too, especially coming from an international. So those were the main challenges, I would say. But it was overcome a lot by the support and help of the university. The university in Amsterdam, the VU Amsterdam, has really helped us a lot right from the inception. So whatever challenges we face, of course, during the inception process was really taken care by the university, and they helped us a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I can say.
That's
Yes.
also something that we can highlight. Some universities, not all of them, but some universities in the Netherlands are really like with the entrepreneurial flag. They really want to
Yes.
support
Yes.
entrepreneurship. They have incubation, acceleration programs. They have everything set for those type of things. Back then, when I came to study in the Netherlands 10 years ago,
Hmm.
there was nothing in my
Yeah.
university about it. Now the story is like completely different. But
Completely changed.
when I started, I was in a little town. It was not in Amsterdam. For me, a little town, not the number 6 in the Netherlands. They say we're big, number 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like 250,000 in heart. Like for us as Colombian, Indian is like, oh, this is a teeny tiny town.
Yes.
And when I was in Tilburg, I needed to find my way by myself. And sometimes when you struggle or with these challenges, it opens you up to basically create your own network, right? Find
Hmm.
the right expertise.
Can't hear you, Maria. Again, I think. You are back now, I think. No, I can't hear you, Maria.
Can you now?
Now I can.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm really
yes,
sorry. It's like something happening today specifically. Oh my God. I'm sorry about
yeah.
that. It's the internet and that happens when we go live. But
It's the
I was just
online world.
commenting.
Yes,
we
yes.
are we are and yeah, it's just some seconds. So everybody, thank you for your patience on that, and also you, Sauvik, for that. But what I was talking about is like the local context and to be in a new country, specifically in the Netherlands, really push you to go beyond, right? And also
Yes.
studying and living in the Netherlands was for both of us the way we landed in the Netherlands. So, my next question is how this studying and living in the Netherlands can be seen, in your case, as a source of inspiration for developing new business concepts. Like what happened
Sure.
before you decided
Yep.
to go for.
I lost you again.
So how? Yeah, can you hear me? I was asking
You
you
are. Yeah,
about
you are back
how
now.
studying,
I know.
yeah, the
Yes.
influence
Yes.
of studying and living in the Netherlands as a source of
Indeed.
inspiration for creating new
I.
concepts that probably you will not have
Yes. Yes.
if you will stay in India forever. Yeah.
True, true. No, I got your question already. Yes, yeah, yeah. For me, definitely it helped because uh, because we are a scientific company. It's a scientific startup, so the studying is really important because through my studies, through my PhD, through my research, I could have some results, which was very important to create the base or the domain knowledge. Because without that studies, for our case, the domain knowledge wouldn't have been there. So that was very important. That initial 3 years of research and studies helped us to create the foundation for Fitsurance. And by living, I can say that because the Netherlands is a completely different country with a completely different culture than India, and the society is quite different. So living in that country, living in Amsterdam, being in that multicultural setup, like the multilingual, multicultural city like Amsterdam, really helped me develop my skills in a different way that wouldn't have been possible if I would have been in India. So this right blend of studying and living in that particular country was really helpful for us.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I can say. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I can say the same for me, for my whole business concept, especially
Yeah.
now with
Yeah.
Here to Start about helping internationals. Like, what other place can be more international than, like biking around Amsterdam and
Yeah.
having 180 nationalities right there for any type
Yeah.
of validation, focus group, anything that you want to basically
Absolutely.
test. You have 180 nationalities right there, 90% of people fluent in English. There you are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you have it
That's the
there.
ideal place to be. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so for us it worked perfectly, and I think that living and studying or having the chance of arriving before and seeing how life is there will definitely inspire you in getting concepts or actually crossing what you call as blend. I love it. I love
Yeah.
coffee, so when you say blend, I'm like, oh yes, that's a nice blend of like
Yes.
bringing the best out of two worlds, out of Colombia and Netherlands. India and Netherlands is the best that we can do as internationals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best that we
You
could do. You're right. Yes.
yeah. And actually, we met when we were talking about stories about getting funded as well. You also had access and, took advantage of a lot of funding opportunities that are available
Hmm.
that people don't even know that exist.
Yeah.
So
True.
let's talk a little bit about your story on funding, and getting funded as an international business owner based in the Netherlands. How was the experience for
Absolutely.
you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was it was quite an overwhelming experience from the beginning, I can say. Yes, so of course there are many funding opportunities, but it's also true at the same time that not many people or starting entrepreneurs are aware of it. So I can say
Mm.
about my story or the Fitsurance story, what happened.
Mhm.
Because we were or we still are a scientific startup, we could apply for many scientific grants, and these scientific grants come from the NWO, which is the Dutch Council of Scientific Education, or the RVO, which is the Netherlands Enterprise Agency. Well, I'm translating into English and
It's
saying so that
difficult.
people understand. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so we could apply for two grants, one each from the NWO and RVO, and we got both of them. So that was really helpful to start up. And not only that, we were also incubated in the University Incubation Center of the VU Amsterdam. It's called the Demonstrator Lab, and they also gave us like a pre-seed funding. So with two grants and a little bit of pre-seed funding, we were good enough to start to buy some equipments, have an office space, and kickstart the activities. So these are the funding opportunities that we could get right in the beginning.
Great.
Yes.
Apart from funding, well, first of all, that's a privilege because a lot of people don't start their startup with funding. Huh? So
Yeah,
the regular
absolutely.
thing
That's
is your
probably the
saving.
majority. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So most of us were just out there making our savings and making everything work, and probably working from Starbucks or cafes or whatever. And
Yep.
it's great to also like promote the fact that depending, of course, on what's your startup about, you will find different, access to different types of subsidies, grants, even
Indeed.
before going for investors. Just things that you have available, like
Yep.
small resources to get started, but to have some some cash in. That's really really important, and I think that for you and your team, that was also like giving you a push, to get started.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Another, like, we have a question, and I want to also showcase that question about talking about benefits, huh?
Mm-hmm.
About discussing about taxes and financial elements to keep in mind when you're
Mm-hmm.
starting your business. What type of tax benefits we can basically share with our audience when it comes to starting your business in the Netherlands, like
Indeed.
taxes,
Indeed. So
financial aspects. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So there are quite a lot of them. I'm not aware of all. I'm aware of one, which is which is directly related to scientific startups. Say for example, because we are so that's the WBSO subsidy. Again, I'm saying the English word. So what
Mhm.
happens with this is if you are doing some R&D activities like research and development activities, be related to computer science, artificial intelligence, health sciences, medical sciences, whatever it can be. So if you have employees in your startup who is solely doing these kinds of R&D activities, you can have a tax benefit on the employer, like the as an employer, you can apply for this WBSO tax credit, and you can get
Mhm.
this credit on your payroll taxes, basically the
Mm.
wage taxes. Yeah, so you apply
Great.
for this to our RVO, the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, and if you can satisfy them that indeed you are an R&D science, hardcore science related startup, they will give you this
Yeah.
subsidy. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the first that you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, also top of mind for me, for the first 3 years, as you are just starting your startup or your entrepreneurial venture, you have a lot of tax benefits. For the first three
Yes.
years, you don't
Yes.
pay any income tax, basically. If you're under
No,
the
no.
100,000 euros turnover, you basically you declare it, but you pay zero. So the only
Yes.
tax that
Yes.
you're paying normally is VAT, which is
Yeah.
21%. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's really a perfect place to start a
That's
business.
quarter wise. Yeah. You only pay the VAT quarter wise. Even if it is like a B2B, like a business to business transaction, you can actually get all your BTW back, or all the
Yeah,
VAT back also.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah. And
indeed,
in
there are
regards,
quite a lot of benefits.
there are quite a lot, but these are like the top ones. Like, like income tax, you will save a lot of money not declaring, like basically declaring but not paying for that tax as well. If you're in the beginning of your business, you can also have nice subsidies for health, for your health
Yes.
insurance, for like
Yes.
housing. There's a lot of subsidies. Even now in Corona times, I received a letter from the municipality of Amsterdam saying, "Hey, if you need help, fill in this form and you will get a subsidy." So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's just read, and we also try to, of course, translate everything because many things are still, of course, in Dutch. Chamber of
Yeah.
Commerce runs in English. Tax office, they don't like it. So they only
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
some days that they talk to you in English. But actually,
Yeah.
like we always, like we're always lost in translation, and we're always trying to facilitate sharing all these type
Hmm.
of tips and insights and opportunities with our community, right? So
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, we are not going to go really in depth in terms of financial elements, but just know that if you have the right planning, if you know how to budget, how to make sure that you can start lean, like as
Yes.
as simple as possible, you will be able to have a successful pilot, a successful MVP in the Netherlands. No problem,
Indeed.
right?
Indeed. Yep.
What else? We were talking as well. Before we continue with questions, for those people who don't know anything about your startup, you know, I would like to just give me the elevator pitch. What is Fitsurance about? You
Indeed,
know.
yeah. So for insurance, we are in the domain of health tech. So very briefly, what we do is we do a bunch of health tests, starting from very simple, like your height, weight, waist circumference, grip strength, to a little bit of higher end tests like blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, endurance test on a bike, ergometer, lung function test, and all these kinds of tests, and many functional tests also, like sit to stand, 6-minute walk, and so on, because we can do all these tests in the university. So with all these tests, what we try to do is we try to create a health profile for our customers. And based on that health profile, we give them advice on diet, exercise, and movement patterns. If they are more sedentary, we advise them to move more. If they are moving quite well, we advise them, yeah, you just keep on doing whatever you want to do. So things like that. So our advice is based on diet, movement, and exercise, based on objective, quantifiable biomarkers, because these are really biomarkers which say something about your body. So this is what we actually do. And we have B2C customers, we have B2B, other business customers, and we have a lot of partnerships with many other startups in and around Amsterdam. And that's the way we cater to our customers.
Great. And it's great that you're in health, especially during these times. Huh?
Yes.
Super important
Yes.
and more
Probably
relevant
after
than
Corona.
yeah.
Very
Like
relevant.
your business, I guess, is boosting because of this, huh?
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
And it's going to continue with boosting. That's the plan. I actually did the test back in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So I can
Indeed.
tell you, everybody's really in depth. And you're like, oh, really? And it's good that you know as soon as possible, how are you doing? You know, how is your health? How to improve it? How to have healthier organizations, teams, everything. Because in the end, it's all about health, right? So let's talk about multicultural, because we're talking about blending in and also joining forces with locals. And you have co-founders, like local co-founders as well. So
Indeed.
I would also like to showcase, what is the importance and why, having multicultural teams to succeed as an entrepreneur, as an international entrepreneur. What's basically, how do you see, how is it to have locals as co-founders?
Indeed. I think it's very valuable, because I think there are many reasons for that, but the reasons that I experienced are, so if you are alone, if you are only an international, people might not believe you first, because you are bringing a business idea. Even though you are there in that country for some years, there can be some trust issues or something like that. So if you have locals in your team, there is automatically a little bit of better trust in your business proposition when you are pitching somewhere. And not only that, as you say, like there are language problems sometimes at some places when you start up, and there are some things, some meetings, some discussions that you only have to do in Dutch. And if you're in the initial stage and if you're bothered about those activities, then you cannot put your mind and time in the business. So how we did is we used to separate and partition these activities, so that the more Dutch heavy activities were taken up by my local co-founders, who are very helpful in that. And then I could invest my time more in the science and the business part, or the English part of activities.
Doing what you do, super important.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Super
so
important.
that creates again a right blend. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Perfect. When you get to choose what part of the business is really you, so you can really continue being enthusiastic and passionate about your business concept, is really important, right? And I have to say as well, I also experienced to have like a local co-founder, apart from helping you, going like smoothly or landing like in a way that is faster and more efficient, which is something that Dutch people love. Like apart from helping you in that way, they are also adding a lot of value in terms of the
I think I lost you again, Maria.
Yeah, here I am.
Still not completely back. You're going on and off.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes? Now I am. Sometimes I'm speaking by myself. So I was just commenting that Dutch people are really good in business and they can help you, go or make deals faster in a way. In our cultures, we're more people oriented and we do a lot of lobby, a lot of relationship oriented. And Dutch people, normally a business meeting in the Netherlands is 20, 30 minutes and then deal, no deal. It's really focused. So that really helps us to go faster, I think. That's another value from the culture itself, right?
Yep, you were
And
right.
also, yeah, super important as well that you did the other way around. In your story, you came to the Netherlands, you create features there, like you launch your business, and now you're going taking it back to your home country. Actually, sometimes it's the other way around, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm also curious about going back to India or thinking about launching something that was born in the Netherlands in India. How is that for you? You know, what are the challenges and opportunities when you are expanding your business concept abroad, you know? And even when
Indeed.
abroad is your home country. I'm
Abroad is
curious
home
about that.
country now. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
true. No, it's another great experience that I'm living, because so what happened, of course, the pandemic struck, and I'm basically working from home for my PhD and all the university activities now. So I thought that, well, because I'm in India now, why not take the opportunity to do this? So that's where the
Mm-hmm.
whole concept of taking Fitsurance back to India started. What we did is we incubated it in our in my Indian university where I did my bachelor's from, and I'm also getting a lot of help from them. What is
Mm-hmm.
very important, just to sum up, what I can say is, it's very
Mm-hmm.
important to understand that the concept of insurance that works in the Netherlands might not work completely in the same way in India, because these two countries are poles apart. Geographically, India is huge. India
Yeah.
is it's an extremely multilingual, multicultural country. Yeah, so it's like almost the European Union can be compared to the to one of India. So what we have to do, and what we're also doing now, is basically we are really doing our groundwork market research for the concept of insurance that can work in India. So we are taking student interns, we are taking other interns, recruiting them, and letting them go to the field and do this Indian groundwork, so that we can have our Indian value proposition. That's the main
Wow.
challenge that we are focusing on now and trying to solve it. So I think it's very important for any entrepreneur to keep this in mind, because if
Yeah.
you are going to a country which is very different from your, well, headquarters country, say for example, you always have to keep this in mind, that you cannot do kind of like a copy paste thing. You really have to invest time in the market research in that particular land. Yep.
It's super super valuable what you're saying right now, so because normally people think I have it, it's working, I found my
Yep.
target audience, everything is perfect, and then it's like you cannot copy paste business in
Yep.
general, even if it would
No.
be like in Belgium, you know, next to the
Yeah.
Netherlands, you know,
Yeah.
it's a completely different culture.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so super important to think about that when considering
Yeah.
scaling up or soft landing in new markets. And
Mhm, mhm.
that's why it's super important
I think I lost you again, Maria.
to do it. Yeah. Yeah, here I am. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm like,
you're back.
this is the event of Maria surprise. Surprise, here I am still.
On and off.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a wrap right now. We're like half an hour, but of course we started a little bit later. So let's
Yeah.
take these 2 minutes to give some extra recommendations or tips, you know, like actionable tips for future entrepreneurs, you know, for future international entrepreneurs who are not even in the Netherlands or in the Netherlands considering, you know, like starting a business in the Netherlands.
Sure.
Like even if you're
Sure.
not there yet, even if you're thinking about it,
I lost you again.
what are your recommendations when, you know,
Okay.
starting your
Okay.
future
Yeah. Yeah.
business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got your question, so I can answer it. Yes. So yeah, of course, I can say many points, but I will try to again sum up very in a short way. The first point I can say, which might be very interesting to know for the entrepreneurs who are not in the Netherlands, that you can actually have a company in the Netherlands even from outside. You can incubate it, you can incorporate it as a BV, which is a private limited company, and you can already start having your business activities over there even before you land. But that's a completely different story. I can go on about it later.
That's
But
another event.
yeah, yeah, that's another event actually. Yes. But say, for example, you're an international entrepreneur already in the Netherlands and thinking about what to do. Uh, I, I think I will say some of the points which helped me really a lot. First of all, try to have a good domain knowledge. The domain knowledge is very important. Try to
Yeah.
stay very focused. If you are operating in a niche area, keep your business in the niche area and do not really try to spread in every area that you can think of right at the beginning, because then you can get lost, you know. Already there are a lot of things which are alien, foreign to you. So try to stay focused, be in your niche area, have great domain knowledge, and the most important virtue I think that can happen, that you have to keep, is patience. because you cannot expect fast results. You have to be extremely patient. Maybe the first 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you will not make that much of money. You might even lose a bit of money. But yeah, you have to take it on your chin and be patient. If you believe in your story, if you believe in the hypothesis, if you have solid domain knowledge, 5 years, 10 years down the line, you will reap the benefits. So that's what I can say. Yeah.
100%, and it's actually leaving this on a spicy note, because most people think about startup and entrepreneurship like fast results, right? So like really fast, if this is going to give you money, if this is going to have the right market fit, if this, and actually, what are we talking about? It's all about putting yourself out there, believing in your idea, proving that your concept is really needed, that you have a strong value proposition, and that what you're saying is relevant for your local market. Wherever you are, you will succeed. But when you're risking a little bit more as an international entrepreneur, make sure that you take full advantage of what that context can offer. In that case, for us, the Netherlands was the place to land and the place to launch this type of ideas that are now, solid businesses. So what you just said about starting your business even before landing is something that people don't know. So they're thinking how much money I need to have, and I have to be rich to be a starting entrepreneur. And it's not true, right? Even for the startup visa, even when you apply for the startup visa, you need to have a legal Dutch entity before even starting, right? You need to have a Dutch bank account even before you land. So don't worry about it. You have to go Dutch even being in the country. And now it's a perfect opportunity. It's a perfect opportunity even now in the pandemic that is so difficult to move or to be in the Netherlands. Take full advantage of doing all this process of validation, of understanding your concept and how unique it can be from wherever you are, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sauvik, I'm really happy and really grateful that we managed to do this regardless of the whole technical issues I had.
Yes. So that's always there. Yes, that's always there.
Really insightful. I invite everybody also to share via comments if you have any more questions. We're going to be checking the comments afterwards and also hosting new events about entrepreneurship. Of course, there's a world to explore, many topics. So if there are any topics that you want us to include in our upcoming events, please make sure you check it out. Every year we host our biggest event that is called Here to Start Fest, actually to showcase people like Sauvik and to really transfer as much knowledge and experience with our community. We're going to be also inviting everybody to that event. Make sure that you follow us everywhere. Just type it Here to Start. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to continue with the regular events apart from the big fest by the middle of this year. And that's it. Special invitations for you. Coming up next, we are hosting a career cafe. That's a classic event that we have where we simultaneously talk about everything you need to know about studying in the Netherlands, orientation year, how to get a job in the Netherlands, how to start a business in the Netherlands. So this event is going to be happening now on the 20th of April at 7 p.m., same time, 7 p.m. Dutch time, CET. Of course, you're all invited. Of course, Sauvik, you and your team more than invited to continue sharing your knowledge around entrepreneurship. And that's it. And for everybody who wants to, propose some topics or have some ideas or things that you want to, to learn more, or if you want to also speak or share any knowledge with our community, we're also sharing via comments a form where you can, get invited to new events and also suggest new topics. Even things that Sauvik commented right now that were briefly, like whatever you need, we are here to help and to stay relevant. We know how easy to be in 10,000 Zoom events. We want to really stay relevant and do something short but relevant enough for us to continue growing as a community. So thank you, Sauvik, for this time. And is there anything else that you want to add or to say?
Well, I can just thank you, Maria, and Here to Start, and NL Alumni Network now, previously Holland Alumni Network, for having me, for giving me this opportunity to share some of my experience with other budding international entrepreneurs, probably. Of course, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to share my experience. People in Amsterdam are very much welcome to visit our Fitzgerald's lab, our Fitzgerald's office. We are located in the VU Amsterdam at the Zuidas Business District. So very prominent location. We would be very happy to host any one of you. So
Perfect. For everybody, because you registered to this event, you're going to receive a thank you email with the recap with this video and next steps on our upcoming events, and of course we're going to include more information about field students and how you can get to know more about Sauvik's story and his team. Yeah, a big bravo for you, because not everybody can do
Thank
business
you.
in two countries in the middle of a pandemic and succeed, and
Yeah.
to have the
Yeah.
struggles and share the success.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
congrats,
Yeah.
congrats for
Thank you.
that. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
and everybody, we stay in touch. Bye bye.
Bye.
Do it